All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between GodFather versus AtheistP. All right, this game taking place here on. Wow, how come it feels like all of my cables keep on getting messed around? Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1 matchup. On the top right-hand side of the map, we have GodFather spawning as the blue undead on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top left-hand side of the map, we have AtheistP spawning as the yellow human. Human versus undead here on Echo Isle. Let's go ahead and unwrap things, perhaps speed things up to the 2-minute mark where, well, the game really gets interesting unless they go for some sort of an offhand build. All right, we are looking at a Crypt Lord first going up against an Archmage, so not your typical Death Knight versus Archmage matchup here. And with that Crypt Lord, I am expecting some sort of an expansion coming in from GodFather. That wider, more aggressive style go wide army early on helps to clear out those creep camps and also establish and defend them earlier on as well. GSL finished early, so I have time to wait. Well, hey, Wild Striker, thank you for tuning in. Tarwine, hello, how are you doing as well? Meanwhile, we are looking Scroll of Town Portal quickly sold, Sacrificial Skull plus Rod of Necromancy. I am surprised that the Crypt Lord didn't take out the sheep and then start summoning up some beetles and some other units earlier on. Meanwhile, down to the south here, Militia also getting a couple ensnares in here as the Crypt Lord opting to go for the creep camp. Nope. No, all right. GodFather actually throwing me a bit of a curveball here. What are we going to see? We are going to see, well, there goes a pig. We should be looking at some beetles already being brought into play. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what the Crypt Lord was thinking. Should have been summoning up many more of these creeps earlier on, taking down that earlier sheep. Maybe he has impaled. No, he has beetles. Coming back down to the south here, we are looking at, there is that blight being placed down, and here we are quickly engaging. Gonna perhaps try to get some more beetles out here onto the battlefield, and perhaps also use that Rod of Necromancy. Or did he just, there's that Rod of Necromancy card already. Coming back through, Footman still wandering around here, a little bit of damage being absorbed by a ghoul. He will be returning all the way back home. More beetles are coming out onto the battlefield, and we do see one acolyte already making his way down. Archmage off on the other side has 17 workers. Now Militia being called over to try and clear up this mercenary camp, this renegade wizard. And both sides staying on, well, they were staying on their relative sides of the map. Normally, when you stay on your relative side of the map, you are able to do a lot more creeping and engage with larger armies. If GodFather actually opting to go much more into the middle this time around, a low hit point ghoul now trying, gets denied by a Forest Troll Berserker. The Footman has to be very careful now, as he could end up easily getting surrounded, and yes, that's exactly what happened. Level 2 now on to that Crypt Lord. We're going to see a lot of easy damage here as the Footman will end up getting taken down. Forest Troll Berserker takes out another beetle here, as we're still looking at a lot of damage getting racked up. Manual of Health, Wand of Illusion used, could try and summon up some more beetles. I think his beetle count is down to 3, as 3 beetles were lost in that fight. Archmage with dual water elemental should be able to pick apart this army here, but, well, GodFather's go wide strategy does still look rather scary. There goes a quick impale as well for Troll Shadow Priest taking a bit of damage. All right, damage starting to rack up here. Archmage wanting to get him up to level 3, gonna perhaps try and take down a ghoul. One more shot should be able to do it. Oh, beautiful denial by the last possible second by GodFather. Meanwhile, an illusion absorbing some of the aggro there. Nicely done. Archmage still coming back around, perhaps going to try and clear out this creep camp down to the south and get level 2. All right, there is a little bit of that aggro there. Nope, going to go ahead and back away. Coming back around, there goes another illusion. Archmage says, no, you are probably fake. Yes, you are going to go ahead and retreat back, as we are looking at Atheist now setting up this expansion. Down to the south, however, GodFather, there is no illusion here. I'm gonna go ahead and try and clear out this Murloc creep camp, get up to level 3, but, well, now aggression is on and the Crypt Lord is going to be forced to walk back. This is going to give, well, Atheist plenty of opportunities to try and get to level 3 on his own units, but the big problem will be that many of GodFather's units are poisoned. That poison damage starts to tick over time, and that becomes the main problem. Archmage should be able to pick up this Tome of Intelligence +2, getting in a big damage bonus if he chose to actually read his books. All right, not reading his tomes. Well, opting to play some Warcraft 3 instead of reading in game, as Godfather, well, it has set up an expansion nearly full saturation. Needs to train up a couple more acolytes. Not quite sure what this Necroplis is for, if it's not here to try and saturate this haunted gold mine. All right, come on. You even brought an acolyte away, Godfather. You want to saturate this gold mine. You do. Coming back around. Well, Crypt Lord sitting at level 3. Gonna go ahead and pull back away. There was a tome getting picked up right there as well. As well, both sides have their expansions up and running. All right, this is going to be an interesting call. A lot of low hit point ghouls now retreating back here, just simply walking back home. Archmage may be able to find a couple of easy targets. There goes one ghoul. Another ghoul could end up getting taken down. There goes a second ghoul. Archmage racking up some damage already and now attempting to take down the Altar of Darkness that was unsummoned and now trying to be resummoned back in. Godfather going to have a lot of problems trying to well, set up some sort of second hero. Meanwhile, the Crypt Lord is now going after the Arcane Tower, but losing quite a bit of mana in the process, as there is not enough surface area onto this tower because the peasants are repairing. Arcane Tower is now switching targets onto those carrion beetles instead, absorbing quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, coming back around, acolytes are getting destroyed as well. Footmen could end up getting taken down. There, nope, there goes one footman finally taken out in the back. Graveyard trying to be built, and it looks as though Atheist is just absolutely running away with this game, taking down the Altar of Darkness and destroying the crypt before Crypt Fiends could be trained up. Back down to the south here, we're looking at Militia now being called over, and this is turning into a crazy, crazy battle as the Acolytes need to start mining back down to the south here. 1/5 saturation, and Atheist is just running away with this game, able to deal so much damage while still having a full economy right behind him. All right, the Militia are on timed life, though, as you can see them turning back into their, well, weaker peasant selves, as the ghouls and Crypt Lord perhaps trying to get to level 4. Back off to the north here, Archmage still racking up quite a bit of damage. Dual Nerubian Towers and a Halls of the Dead. That piercing damage does start to add up over time. The Acolytes could easily turn around and perhaps try to fight back here, as Atheist now coming in, bringing in a Forest Troll Berserker. All right, expansion going to get taken down. Meanwhile, Godfather, this Crypt Lord is a one-man army, as he's going to constantly be summoning out additional units into this fight here. All right, there goes a tower. Scroll of Town Portal coming across here. Archmage could be in trouble. Not enough mana on that Crypt Lord to really do much, as we're looking at a little bit of damage there. All right, Archmage trying to go after these units, as we're looking at a couple of units being quickly hired up by, Atheist. Meanwhile, Godfather trying to heal up some of that damage here. What is going to end up going down? There is another slow onto that Crypt Lord Staff of Teleportation. The Forest Troll Shadow Priest gets summoned up only to be trapped into a difficult situation. A little bit of damage there. A Ghoul going to get taken down, and a Forest Troll Shadow Priest as well. Atheist really coming out ahead in this exchange. All right. Saturation, full saturation down to the south. Well, only 2 out of 5 acolytes back off to the north. We're looking at more saturation coming back down here, as the Crypt Lord going to be bringing in beetles as well, but he doesn't have that much mana. He does have invisibility, but this is a little bit of a very risky maneuver, trying to do anything at this point and stage in the game. All right, one random sentry ward could have completely flipped this game around. Instead, we are looking at, well, Carrion Beetles finishing off some units in the middle of the battlefield. The Crypt Lord wants to try and make a play before the Scout Tower and Guard Tower are up, but may not be able to do that at all. Spirit Tower and Spirit Tower and being upgraded. Nerubian Tower already here. Altar of Darkness finally being summoned in, as the Crypt Lord, what is it looking to do? Well, gonna go ahead and summon up some beetles, takes on another unit, gonna go ahead and try and engage here as the Scout Towers, the Scout Towers need to get taken down before they are done upgrading. All right, Crypt Lord, perhaps trying to escape away here. A little bit of damage on that Scout Tower, down to 140 damage, but, well, hit points, but the repairs are underway. Back off to the north, beetles are just, well, swarming back off to the north here. We are getting up some more Scout Towers as well, just to act as a bit of stationary defense as we go into tier 3. Both sides are sitting in no upkeep, but Atheist having a much larger army, 46 supply compared to 34, as we are finally getting the Death Knight as that second hero. Beetles still trying to swarm around here, causing problems. Meanwhile, the army of Atheists coming across the center here. Archmage, Mountain King, Stormbolt is on the table. You better believe that those units or the Crypt Lord could end up getting surrounded here in just a moment. Are we going to see a potion of invulnerability to try and dodge? Yes, we do. At the last possible moment, trying to run away. Archmage does sit at level 4. Should be dropping a water elemental here to try and absorb some of that damage. Is it on cooldown? Yes, it is. The water elemental was actually in the wrong spot there and should be absorbing the damage as it is the one with a timed life. Coming back through, Beetles versus the Militia, continuing to fight back and forth again and again. Archmage and Mountain King taking some important items, picking up that potion of greater healing, and now going after the Forest Troll Trapper as well. Mountain King still sitting at level 1. Death Knight is out on the battlefield at level 1 with Death Coil available for that all-important burst heal. And GodFather going back to his, well, Necromancer roots with meat wagons and Necromancers. Going to go ahead and try and push in with that Necromancer meat wagon strategy. Meanwhile, the Beetles are trying to take down some of the workshops or get into a little bit of poke damage here. Meanwhile, the Archmage and the Mountain King are Mountain King will be able to level up here in just a moment after clearing out this mercenary camp with the help of the Archmage. All right, there's level 2 on the Mountain King, but a couple of creeps able to finish off some of the other units as well as this last Renegade Wizard about to get taken down. All right, Death Knight, not quite sure why it isn't Death Coiling that Crypt Lord. If you have a Death Knight maxed out on mana and he's not doing much, might as well use that mana so that it can start to be recovered. Meanwhile, down to the south here, Crypt Lord gets Storm Bolted in the back, temporarily stunned. Archmage trying to get in a Water Elemental for that surround, does get the surround, but the Crypt Lord able to teleport away while that Mountain King's Stormbolt was on cooldown. Coming back through here, a Proxy Necroplis being placed down as well. So this will give Blight for GodFather to use and perhaps do a little bit of healing as well. That is an interesting choice. Overall, not quite sure what he plans on really doing with this Necroplis. Once it's there, perhaps do a Scroll of Town Portal inbound. An offensive Scroll of Town Portal could be used. Does the Crypt Lord? Yes, and it is. It is there. So an offensive Scroll of Town Portal coming in from GodFather here to try and move this army all the way across the map. And now, well, dropping down a whole bunch of skeletal minions already. And here we are, 4-second heal plus, well, the instantaneous movement speed across the map right there. All right, the damage here, Acolytes get 4 hit points per second. A normal Undead Army gets 2. Coming back around, all right, we're going to be looking at an engagement. More units are getting popped all the way around here, and this is that sudden appearance that is so difficult to expect. If you see the Necromancers or the meat wagons marching out across the field, you may actually have enough time to make a little bit of a play. But, well, in this situation, well, the Necropolis just shows up, and then suddenly there's a problem. Impale onto the Archmage. No more Blizzard coming down. Paladin now trying to rain in a little bit more damage. There's another Blizzard right there, and damage is still racking back up. Militia continuing to fight. Perhaps the Necromancers need to summon another wave of skeletal minions here as the meat wagons are trying to retreat back and get a little bit of distance. 58 supply compared to 51. Meat wagons still dancing around here, and damage is getting racked back up onto a bunch of those units here as the Archmage once again able to get in another Blizzard across some of those Necromancers who are absorbing quite a bit of damage. Death Knight already sitting at level 3. Mountain King sitting at level 2, has Talisman of Evasion. Obsidian Statue in a little bit too far of a back position. Paladin going to get a heal off on that Mountain King, but it may not be enough as all of the units are completely surrounding. Potion of Healing used there. Dispel finally online to break free as the Blizzard is still raining down damage across all of those lower hit point Necromancers. Most of the meat wagons, all of the meat wagons are now gone. Still plenty of corpses to use as we see Necromancer after Necromancer starting to fall. All right, Priest trying to get away. There goes an Impale onto the Mountain King. Mountain King, after all of that effort, finally gets taken down as the Paladin unable to heal while it's on cooldown. All right. Here's the problem, though. Your army is just far too small to try and continue this push. 56 supply, trying to train up more meat wagons, more Necromancers. The walk is quite a bit away, and this Necropolis could still end up getting taken out. The workshop was destroyed earlier, so trying to take down this building is going to be a bit difficult. One skeletal minion or skeletal mage is right here as the units are going to try and push their way on through. Archmage will get to level 5 off of this, though. That is, well, nope. Oh, sorry, Paladin taking the necessary experience away. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Death Knight and the Crypt Lord. Both of them do not have a Scroll of Town Portal, so they're not going to be able to use this Necroplis trick once again, unless they're trying to make their way down here to get to the shop. No, they are not. Perhaps not quite trusting in that push just quite yet. All right, Blizzard raining down, about to take down this Necropolis. It does take a little bit of time. Death Knight does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Units are now making their way down here, but GodFather instead using this opportunity to buy some time to creep for this Death Knight and perhaps get up to level 4, as long as the Crypt Lord is not involved in any of the fights. All right, there it goes. All of those mage or skeletal minions and skeletal mages. The minions or the skeletal mages actually have more hit points than the skeletal minions. Interestingly enough, 180 hit points compared to the mage that has 240. Quite a significant amount of, so to speak. Death Knight does get up to level 4, picks up a Ring of Protection +4. That isn't the item that he wanted, but that level 2 Unholy Aura should make for better movement speed overall anyway. All right. Taking down the priest, it was incredibly would have been incredibly important, but with an army that large, remember, this is not StarCraft 2. You do not have infinite control across your army. So trying to highlight all of these skeletal mages to actually start focus firing units, only 12 at a time, and that does become a bit difficult. So yeah, do keep in mind that, especially trying to focus fire with such a large army of skeletal minions, skeletal mages, and those beetles as well. Necromancer, while we are at Black Citadel, we do not see any mastery training coming in as of yet.
A player's forces are under
Hello,
attack.
Evelyn. I think Undead should have gone all the way to the bottom and tried to pressure the base at 7. Yeah. Could have tried to pressure the base off over here. All right, coming back through, Death Knight level 4, Crypt Lord level 5, Scroll of Protection is used as, or is available as well. In comes some meat wagons. We're going to go ahead and roll on in. That Scroll of Town Portal trick almost was able to seal the deal, only taking down that Mountain King, though, as humans should be able to do a pretty good job. Meanwhile, what is this? Archmage, quickly Scroll of Town Portal to head back out. The Crypt Lord, his Staff of Teleportation is now on cooldown, as we are now looking across here. All right, Tome of Intelligence +2 is still being left behind. We're looking at a little bit of damage, perhaps just trying to take down these guard towers and eat away and at some of these buildings as well. So many skeletal mages. Blizzard now raining down to try and finish things off. The mages are now making their way through, trying to take down some of these buildings. Was the Tome of Intelligence picked up? No, it was not, as the army now comes down once more. All right, skeletal mages trying to finish off this arcane tower. Does not look like it will be finished, as the peasants get to work to trying to do a bit of repair. All right, the majority of the creep camps on the map, save for one, has now been cleared. Out. We're looking at Death Knight, meat wagons, necromancers, lich, all out, ready to move on. 78 supply compared to 78, and this is just rather strange to see an undead army at tier 3, no destroyers and no crypt fiends whatsoever, just a pure prop up army. The downside or the problem is going to be these priests who now have mastery training and have level 2 brilliance aura backing them up. The priests should rarely ever have any problems being low on mana, and just due to their numbers and the fact that they have such strong mana regeneration right now. All right, Undead Army going to go ahead and pivot around this army here, using that shade effectively. And GodFather wants to make sure he catches the army completely off guard and finds the entire back in exposed side. There goes one mortar team. There goes another mortar team. Healing light, holy light on another mortar team. But is it going to end up surviving? It may not end up surviving anyways, as it is getting completely surrounded. Meanwhile, Obsidian statue gets focused down in a matter of seconds. Big dispels here, as we are seeing a big impale reaching down as well. There goes another priest as well, as more pop-up armies are just sprouting all over the place. All right, Archmage getting some big experience or taking down so many of the units. Thunderclap as well, working effectively against this low hit point army that is going wide. 60 supply compared to 64. Death on both sides, as both sides are continuing to fight, and in comes a new round, only to be simply dispelled once again. Death Knight falls at level 4. Cripplord trying to back away. Archmage is getting closer. Paladin already at level 3 as well, continuing this push as the Mountain King could get in another big Thunderclap, trying to put in pressure on across all of these Necromancers. There's a Holy Light Stormbolt combination from the Mountain King and Paladin taking down that level 1 Lich. Priests are getting taken down, and this is an absolute bloodbath on both sides. How many units are going to get taken down? There goes 1, there goes 2, there goes 3. That Impale really changing things around, tipping things back in favor for GodFather temporarily, as we are looking at, well, all of the skeletal minions and the mages who don't represent any sort of supply actually coming in to do a bit of damage. All right, Disease Cloud still racking up more damage. Knight getting pulled back here. Sorceress trying to get backed away. There goes an Impale. There goes a death of a Sorceress, as a Cryptlord could be in trouble. Holy Light saving the Spellbreaker right there. And the Cryptlord going to go ahead and just Staff of Teleportation away, as the Mountain King does not have Bash or Stormbolt available. 62 supply compared to 60 or 67 compared to 63. Lich will be coming back on out here in just a moment. Lich is now back out here onto the battlefield, but doesn't have enough mana for a Frost Nova as of yet. Death Knight out onto the battlefield as well, resurrected at the tavern for a quicker resurrection there. Meanwhile, more Dispel magic coming across. We need to see some Obsidian statues in addition to the Meat Wagons, as we are now adding in a Frostworm to the mix. GodFather with a Frostworm should be able to put in pressure onto those Knights if they try to dive on in. Meanwhile, the Priest and the Mortar team, we've seen how effective that Impale and Frost Nova can be when working together. All right, units are going to try and make their way here. It looks as though Atheist is trying to find units that are in transit and is going to be gifted a Meat Wagon as it tries to walk on down, only to be surrounded and destroyed in just a moment. 5-4-4 going up against 5-4-1. A big army or level advantage for Atheist. Meanwhile, though, it feels as though at any point GodFather's army could just spring up out of the ground and completely catch Atheist off guard. All right, we're looking at the Cryptlord. Cryptlord is in a bit of trouble. Is he going to try and break free? Does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability going straight after some of those other units. Are we going to see them Impale? What damage is going on? Scroll of Town Portal instead, as it looks to back away. All right, Stormbolt. Holy Light, but the teleportation was in time. Obsidian statue now being added. There's a Meat Wagon off to the north, but they are now completely separated down to the south. The mortar teams able to launch those volleys and take down those buildings in pretty much no time flat. One building already gone, another follow-up building gonna get taken down as well, and this is gonna end up becoming a problem for GodFather. Is he gonna be able to recover from the loss of the expansion, as the main bases are nearly mined out of gold? Only 5.5 minutes of mining left in the main bases, as well as the Frostworms come in as a big surprise, trying to take down more of those units. Takes down a mortar team as the Lich gets up to level 2. The Frostworms were hidden in the backfield long enough, and GodFather looks to have enough Necromancers to try and push across with one large army once again. Third and final Frostworm trying to be trained up, but currently sitting upside down on supply, 74 over 70, and well, it needs a little bit of additional time. Obsidian statue and Meat Wagon making the trek down from the north, as we are looking at perhaps a final stand here. All right, that earlier play using that Necroplis to instantaneously move his army out across the field, essentially a very expensive massed teleport ability. We do have mass teleport available by Atheist, as he did get to level 6. Level 6 means that he can be anywhere he wants to be and get there in an instant, and easily defending any sort of tactics. The problem is that once you mass teleport, though, you are going to be very much clustered together. The Lich's Frost Nova, the Frostworm, and the Impale damage on that Cryptlord could spell so much burst damage for all of those priests that they all get taken out, thereby opening up for more skeletal minions and mages to make a big impact. Thank you for the follow. Waiting for another Frost Room is a bad idea. Well, 85 over 90 supply. Here we are going into the engagement. Potion, oh no, Divine Shield quickly being used right there. Pop-up army is there. There goes a big impale. There goes, Blizzard trying to rain down as both sides are fighting every which way. All right, Frost Rooms are attempting to take down some of those other units, but flying machines are getting added in as well. 81 supply. There goes a big impale across all of those, priests that we had mentioned earlier. They are going to be the lifeline or the thing that keeps this entire army together. Death Coil saving a low hit point Frostworm as it backs away temporarily. Cryptlord still continuing the fight, could get up to level 6, and it quickly uses a Scroll of Protection as the Archmage quickly says, you know what, I do not want to stick around in this fight. Level 4 on the Death Knight still, level 2 still on that Lich. Cryptlord is now at level 6 and has not chosen an ability as of yet. All right, Obsidian Statue still trying to give plenty of mana, but remember, there are not only the 3 undead heroes, but also all of these necromancers as well. All right, coming back through Necromancer, Death Knight, all of these units going to be making their way. Is WarCraft 3 Reforged getting? Is WarCraft 3 a very, very great game? Yes, it is. If you have the original, you don't necessarily need Reforged, but it's going to be a little bit more hoops to jump through in order to play. If you want to play competitively, buy WarCraft 3 Reforged and play with classic graphics. I feel the classic graphics just stand the test of time a bit better, and also you're able to see much more of what's going on. You don't need high detail in a real-time strategy game, and I think having the art director of World of Warcraft acting as the art director of a real-time strategy game caused a bit of those problems. Coming back through 79 supply over 90, we can see that GodFather still mining a bit of gold, has about a minute of mining left, still 2 minutes of mining left for Atheist as well. We could see the unsummoning trick used by so many undead players for that last and final push, as we're seeing a flying machine just being simply offered up to those Frostworms. Necromancers are in the back. They are ready. There's only one Obsidian statue here. Perhaps that Obsidian statue should be transformed into a destroyer, as Inner Fire is just absolutely so delicious, and having a little bit of that damage or some sort of way to dispel would be extremely helpful as well. I don't believe we're going to be getting a destroyer though, but a low mana Obsidian statue is pretty much not worth anything either. All right, moving out across the field, fighting on a Blight. Cryptlord does have a potion of mana. He does have Locust Swarm, that ultimate ability, and we should be starting to push on in. All right, taking down some of those towers first. Mountain King making its way through as well. Frostworm's just going to go ahead and dive on and finish things off, and now go after some of those peasants to try and do a bit of destruction. All right, taking down the town hall here. Peasants are trying to repair. Why are they even trying to repair? There's no reason to repair this town hall at all, as the Blizzard Thunderclap 1-2 combination nearly taking down many of those only summoned units. A lot of gold being wasted by Atheists just trying to keep this town hall up and operational when there's only 400 gold left there, as the Frostworms and the two sides are currently engaging. All right, both sides going to perhaps try and forward once more as the units are backing up again. All right, continuing to pull back here. GodFather versus Atheist. This looks like it could turn into a base race scenario, as mentioned in the chat. Base race scenario, who would it favor? Both sides have, I think there's some mortar teams by Atheist, but only one right now. So base race scenario actually would favor the Undead, who has more meat wagons. Also, the fact that these flying machines do not have the bombs means that those flying machines are useless in the base race scenario. Once all of the Frostworms are gone, what are you going to do with those flying machines unless you actually spend the gold to upgrade? Flying machines getting into position here. We're looking at a militia now walking out across the field. Archmage wanting to line things up. This is going to be, an important battle. We are now getting Well, yeah, the peasants, yeah, finished mining that gold mine. Now what is going to be brought here as we see a big engagement here. Big damage straight up onto one Frostworm already. They're going to try and engage, but GodFather now attempting to retreat back. There goes an Impale along the backside. Blizzard coming down and just destroying many of all of those low hit point units. Flying Machines able to keep the Frostworms at bay. 68 supply compared to 64. Blizzard still raining down here, and while the meat wagons are trying to finish off all of these other units, Locust Swarm making a big play, trying to take down many of the units down across the battlefield as the Flying Machines still going after those Frostworms. Level 3 now on that Lich. Lich now has level 2 of Frost Nova, attempting to take down the Archmage. Archmage now still trying to retreat as the Locust Swarm is still slowly picking away at all of those units. Big Holy Light coming across from the Paladin to save that back up. All right, Deathquail trying to save up some more units. Paladin now trying to make its way back over. Paladin could end up getting taken down. There's a big Impale. Paladin, it gets taken down with a blast right there as the Death Knight could be in trouble. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Mountain King. Archmage now trying to retreat back. Not much mana on the undead heroes as the Lich now tries to make it back over, and Lich does have enough mana. All right, there goes a Frost Nova, and there goes the Archmage. It turns out that the undead army once again only needed its heroes to come away with the victory. That Frost Nova, that Impale Frost Nova Death Coil 1-2-3 combination really spelling certain doom. The Flying Machines quickly taking down those Frostworms. I thought it was going to open things up for Atheists to really stabilize once the Archmage and the Mountain King were able to use those AoE spell effects to take down the Skeletal Minions, the Skeletal Mages, and those Carrion Beetles. But instead, the Locust Swarm of the Crypt Lord able to maintain or continuing to deal out damage for that Crypt Lord, while the Death Knight and landing a couple of timely heals with that Death Coil, able to keep things alive. Once the Paladin was taken down, no longer having a 600 hit point instant heal, well, the other heroes just started to fall. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.